Welcome back. If you own or run a small business, well, you definitely know the grind.
Oh, yeah.
You're juggling everything: strategy, sales, HR, operations. It's a lot.
It really is. And that means those chronic problems, the little inefficiencies, maybe team communication gaps.
It's those workflow bottlenecks that just never seem to get fixed.
Exactly. They just
Yeah.
hang around. They become almost permanent fixtures. And they really do slow growth and, honestly, drain your mental energy.
And our sources, they confirm this isn't just like a scheduling problem. It's deeper, right? It's a time and cash flow issue.
Absolutely. And you, our listener, you're probably looking for a way out of that cycle.
Right. Without signing up for, say, 6 months of really expensive, drawn-out consulting and diagnosis.
Which often tells you what you already suspected.
That is exactly our mission today. We're diving deep into a specific model designed for this exact issue.
Okay.
It's the one-week turnaround strategy for small and medium businesses. We're looking particularly at one called the Fix My Business one-week sprint. It's a fascinating, very modern approach.
So what are we unpacking today?
Well, we're going to look at how these really rapid, time-limited interventions are structured,
Okay.
where they borrowed their philosophy from, spoiler, it's the tech world.
Ah, okay. Makes sense.
And probably most importantly, how they actually achieve tangible results, faster than traditional methods.
Providing that clarity and direction right when it's needed most.
Exactly. Clarity and momentum.
So let's start right there with that fundamental difference. Why do those traditional kind of drawn-out consulting models often fall short for SMB owners?
Yeah, the ones that promise that comprehensive report after 90 days.
Right. Seems business owners, they don't really need more theory. They need action, decisive action.
Well, the contrast really comes down to the core constraints of a small organization. It's simple, really.
Time.
Time, by far the scarcest resource. That's what the experts say. Generic, long-term advice, it just doesn't work when you're worried about making payroll next month. Yeah, I think we can all relate to that feeling. Trying to solve some big organizational issue by reading a huge management textbook.
Right.
When really, you just need someone to fix that broken piece of software now.
Precisely. There's a great quote from entrepreneurship expert Anita Campbell that sums up the source material here. She basically says, quick, targeted interventions beat generic advice every time.
That makes intuitive sense.
Yeah, the traditional model, it asks the owner to dedicate mental bandwidth capital over months, often paying for a diagnosis that, like we said, confirms what they vaguely knew was broken anyway.
Okay.
This sprint model, it's designed for the owner who knows the symptom but just lacks that protected time or, frankly, the resources to dedicate to fixing it systematically.
And looking at this strategically, the sources seem to suggest this move towards time-box solutions is pretty essential now for market agility.
Oh, absolutely. If customer preferences and your competition change every quarter,
Which they do.
waiting half a year for a solution, that's just a recipe for falling behind. Cash flow demands prompt action, and market agility is just non-negotiable today.
So this sprint methodology is kind of a direct response to that pressure.
It is. It's a tactical intervention. It minimizes that waiting period and delivers an immediate, defined win. And that win builds momentum.
Okay, but here's where it gets tactical and maybe a bit tricky. If the traditional model fails because of cost and time, what's the biggest risk in trying to solve a complex business problem in just 7 days? I mean, that sounds like it could be a bit surface level, right? Maybe just a patch, not a real fix.
That's a really excellent critical point. And yeah, the risk of superficiality, it's real.
Okay.
Which is precisely why the successful models like this one-week sprint, they borrow heavily from the agile movement,
Yeah.
the one popular in tech.
Agile, right. Those development sprints.
Exactly. The core philosophy isn't just speed for speed's sake. It's about hyper-focus to achieve a working, demonstrable outcome. Not just a plan, an outcome.
Okay, so if the concept's borrowed from tech sprints, how do they actually translate that intense focus into fixing, say, a messy customer onboarding process? Or maybe those internal communication gaps?
Yeah, real-world operational stuff.
What are the actual steps? How does it work mechanically?
So the whole process is built around mandatory constraints. Constraints that force decisive action.
Okay.
It kicks off with the kickoff strategy call. And this isn't just a brainstorming session.
No.
No, it's a commitment. You have to identify the single main operational challenge. The one that, if you fix it, gives you the biggest leverage.
So you have to pick just one.
One measurable problem. If the owner can't nail that down, the sprint literally can't start. focus is non-negotiable.
Okay, let's say they lock that down. Maybe it's high error rates in order processing. How do they gather enough accurate data so quickly without weeks of digging through historical reports?
Right. That brings us to step 2, the rapid audit. And this is where the mechanics get interesting. To be both rapid and accurate, the consultant simply cannot review years of data. It's impossible in the time frame.
So what do they do?
Our sources show that successful sprints lean heavily on qualitative data, things gathered through focused observation and really immediate feedback loops.
What does that look like in practice?
Well, they often use techniques like muda spotting. It's a lean manufacturing idea,
Okay.
where you just quickly identify the non-value add steps in a workflow, like in real time, by watching it happen.
Okay.
And crucially, the sources note the audit usually limits data collection. They might focus only on the 3 highest impact employees involved in that specific bottleneck.
So you're deliberately narrowing the focus.
Exactly. It forces the consultant to ignore all the secondary noise and focus purely on the mechanism causing the friction right now.
That makes sense. It makes the process scalable fast. You're sort of trading that deep historical dive for surgical real-time insight.
Precisely. And that audit then leads very quickly to the 3rd step, the delivery of a custom action plan.
Customize? Okay.
Yes, tailored, but it also must be immediately actionable. We're not talking a 50-page binder here.
Right. Something you can actually do.
It's a precise, step-by-step roadmap designed to be implemented that week.
Okay, and the final piece. The one that really seems to set this apart from just getting a report and being left to figure it out, the hands-on support. What does that actually involve in just 7 days?
This is the execution phase. This is key. Hands-on support means a consultant or the sprint team, they are actively working with the business owner and their employees.
To implement the fix.
Yes, they aren't just supervising, they are, rolling off their sleeves and helping to fix it.
So, for example, if the plan involves, say, integrating a new CRM module to streamline sales data entry,
Right.
the consultant is actually there, configuring the fields, building the templates maybe, and doing quick targeted training with the staff who need it.
That is exactly right. They ensure the plan gets implemented swiftly and effectively to achieve that first measurable win. In this approach, it targets those high-impact issues where you can deliver clarity quickly. Things like overhauling customer onboarding, setting up essential systems to cut manual errors, or streamlining one specific workflow to save, say, 5 hours a week.
That jump from diagnosis straight into execution. That's really where the proof comes in, isn't it? And we actually have a great case study from the sources that highlights the speed component.
Yeah, let's talk about the retail boutique owner. Her challenge wasn't some abstract strategy problem. It was very tangible.
What was it?
Chaotic inventory management workflows. Just messy. And it was constantly causing cash flow problems because she had stockouts of popular items, but was also carrying way too much slow-moving stuff.
Okay, classic retail issue. If she'd gone the traditional consulting route.
She'd be weeks, maybe months, deep into data analysis, right? Inventory reports, sales trends.
So what did the sprint achieve instead?
Well, by hyper-focusing just on the inventory process, not marketing, not hiring, just inventory, they identified the bottlenecks. Where were things getting stuck in ordering and receiving?
Okay.
The hands-on support involved building a simple, standardized inventory checklist, really clear, and implementing a basic tracking system anyone could use.
And the result?
Within 1 week,
Yeah.
that's the key. She reduced her stockouts. And crucially, she saw a measurable lift in her available cash flow because they could quickly identify and start phasing out the underperforming products.
Wow. In 1 week, seeing cash flow improvement and better process stability.
Yeah.
That kind of rapid, measurable turnaround is, well, it's pretty phenomenal. It really shows how this bypasses those months that traditional consulting might take.
It absolutely proves the point. Consultant Melanie Spring summed it up well in one of the sources. She said something like, weeks and months of deep dives don't fit the pace of small business.
Makes sense.
Sprints deliver clarity and make room for growth without overwhelming the already stressed owner.
Yeah, that without overwhelm part is huge.
It is. So it's an investment in a defined outcome. You're paying for the fix, you see, not for an ongoing retainer you might not need after the problem's solved.
Right. It's ideal for owners who just need that breakthrough on one specific hurdle to get unstuck.
Exactly.
And this whole philosophy, defined outcome, rapid action, feels like something any listener could apply, right? Even if they don't hire an external consultant, maybe just adopting the mindset internally.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And if you are thinking about applying this rapid action idea yourself, our sources actually offer 4 key actionable steps. Things you can do to maximize the value of that kind of focused effort.
Okay, practical takeaways. Let's hear them.
The first one, and it's probably the most important, it really elevates that concept of focus we talked about.
Okay.
Don't just be clear about your pain point. That's too vague. You have to define it as a single quantifiable metric, a number that determines if the sprint was a success or not.
Can you give an example?
Sure. If the problem feels like poor communication, maybe the quantifiable metric is reduce inter-team email response time from an average of 3 hours down to 30 minutes.
Ah, okay. So that metric is what the sprint aims to fix. It's specific.
Exactly. It shifts the whole thing from a vague feeling to a measurable goal.
Got it. What's the next key step?
Second, you absolutely must commit time and attention to the sprint week. Now, this seems obvious.
But hard to do in practice.
Very hard. The owner has to fiercely protect that week from other distractions. A successful sprint needs high engagement from the key people involved.
Which means saying no to other things.
Yes, saying no to non-essential meetings, tuning out external noise. The owner especially needs to be actively engaged during that rapid audit and the implementation parts.
So it's like a temporary sacrifice of some time and focus to gain potentially huge long-term efficiency.
That's a great way to put it. Okay, third step.
Yeah.
Use the sprint not just as a fix for that one problem, but also as a learning opportunity for your team. Think about it. By watching how the problem gets defined, how the process is audited, how the fix is systematically implemented.
They learn the method.
Exactly. Your employees learn how to approach problems with that same focused, time-boxed rigor in the future. It builds internal capability. You're teaching them to fish, essentially.
That's powerful, building that problem-solving muscle internally. Okay, and the final insight. What do you do after that initial success?
You have to leverage those rapid wins to build momentum. That first clear success, maybe it's the reduced error rate, maybe it's the improved cash flow from the boutique example.
Right.
That proves the concept internally. It gets buy-in. And it motivates the team to maybe tackle the next small challenge using the same kind of systematic, focused approach.
So it helps shift the organization.
From being purely reactive, always putting out fires, to becoming more proactive about continuous improvement, one small win at a time.
That momentum really does feel like everything in a small business context.
It really is.
So, this whole deep dive, it strongly suggests that these one-week sprints, they aren't just some niche consulting trend. It sounds like they could become, or maybe are becoming, a staple for growth-focused SMBs.
I think that's right.
Yeah.
Because they deliver that immediate, measurable value, and they minimize the disruption, which is key.
The model just seems better suited to the real-world constraints, time, and resources of a modern small business.
Absolutely. As owners keep prioritizing clarity and, importantly, action over just abstract strategic planning, services like this, or even just the methodology itself, offer a really viable, fast pathway to actually move forward.
Yeah. Ultimately, it seems the Fix My Business one-week sprint model, or others like it, offer exactly what they promise. That intense focus on one problem, leading to one clear win, and delivering that highly valued clarity and, crucially, that momentum.
Well said. And, since the process itself provides such a robust model for systematic improvement, maybe here's a final thought for you, the listener, to carry forward. If you were to apply a one-week sprint, just the concept of concentrated focus, to just one specific, quantifiable operational challenge in your own work.
Not the whole company, just one specific thing.
Exactly, one defined area. What would that single defined problem and its measurable outcome be? And maybe more importantly, what's the smallest tangible step you could take towards that outcome by the end of just 7 days?
Thinking about that forced focus, that constraint. It might actually be the most powerful resource you have to solve that nagging problem that just won't go away.
It very well might be.
Something definitely worth considering. Thanks for diving deep with us today.